for some reason it didn't click that it was serious until the pseudotumor cerebri. And I was pushing almost 300 pounds. Yeah. I don't know how else to put it. I was desperate for a change. It is 8 a.m. I've just got done with my walk and my legs hurt. And today I thought I'd give you guys an update for what's been going on the last 2 years. If you read the New Testament, you hear about Jesus healing the woman with the issue of blood. I got to live that out for about, I want to say almost a year. On and off. I didn't have consistent bleeding. I just had months where I did not stop at all. And it was scary. And it all started, surprise, surprise, March of 2020. So I became anemic. My doctors said I was anemic and they prescribed me iron tablets, and I was taking birth control to help manage the flow of blood. I went from being perfectly fine in 2019 to my whole world shattering in 2 years and being on like 3 different types of medication just to feel normal. And in those days, it was scary being alone. I just moved out on my own because there was too much stress in the place that I was in before. And while I loved having the freedom to do whatever I wanted and having a car that could take me where I wanted to go, I couldn't go anywhere except for work and to church. And when I say I went to church, I mean I went to basically help people have church. I was in charge of the sound booth. I was in charge of the video editing. I was in charge of the slides. I did most of it, and all by myself. And it was just this thing that had become a part of my routine. And I didn't realize what it was doing to me mentally. And I literally had to have a spiritual intervention where God was just like, I'm releasing you from this. And around the same time I left that, I got laid off. And yeah. So one of the things that helped me was I had just gotten a Switch. My pandemic binge watch was Eds. He is a YouTuber and he was at the time making Animal Crossing videos in a way that I hadn't seen other people do. He had this whole persona where he was the villain who wasn't really good at villainy at all. And it was just fun to watch him like go so like hype for Poppy, for Diana, for all the cute villagers. It was just refreshing to see a guy who was unabashedly so like into the cute stuff. And after that, I decided to buy my own Switch, and I'm glad I did, because I also decided to get Ring Fit. I thought that'd be a good investment, something for me to like start exercising, to just try. And I also, while waiting for that to come in the mail, yeah, it was a mail order. I also was buying digitally, what's it called? Oh, it'll be on the screen, I'm sure, but a boxing game, a rhythm boxing game. Sorry, I've got to stretch out a little bit here. And that helped because it gave me something to do. It gave me a little bit of exercise. I started walking with my grandma at the Arboretum in Lawrence, and just like we made a day of it where we would in the mornings meet up and go for a walk and just walk around and talk, and like I would listen to music and like get a little bit ahead of her. Just because like I can't do slow walking, I'm sorry. But it was just that little bit of exercise, that little bit of motion that really started helping me to realize I can do this. I can do this. And yeah. I started measuring myself, and I started weighing myself. And it was a coworker at the call center a few years before who had told me, yeah, it's okay to weigh yourself daily if you're in the right headspace for that. Like, it's okay to see and track yourself. And while I don't recommend that for everyone, because I know everyone has their own struggles and not everyone is in the right headspace and not in the right mental space for that, for me, it was kind of game-changing to have that permission, that instead of doing a weekly weigh-in, to maybe do it daily. And I don't know, I felt good having that control. Getting a little bit of that control back. Like, I was measuring my food. I bought a scale. I was measuring things. I was getting grams. Oh my goodness. I was like, who is this? Weighing her food and cooking for herself, not getting takeout. And it was really fun. I enjoyed the beginning stages of it, like I usually do. And I was just so hyped. I was cooking more. I learned to make tortillas by myself. Didn't know I could do that. Didn't know how easy it was. And I was learning new Korean recipes, and I make a mean Korean fried chicken, if I do say so myself. Yes ma'am. And I was just having so much fun getting to explore like my independence and taking back my body, essentially, because that's what I lost. I'd lost my body, like control over my body. And it was nice having that back just for a little bit. And that was a good period in 2020. In 2021, I'd started to slip up a bit. I wasn't playing the games as much. I felt it was a little bit too challenging, and the apathy was taking over again. The depression was coming over me again, and yeah, I let go a little bit, a lot of it. I was dealing with a lot. I had just lost my job, and I had no insurance, and I had just discovered that I was going blind in my left eye. There were times when I had these horrible migraines, and I remember it was summer, and the crickets were just so darn loud. It was deafening, and my migraine was so bad, and I just remember laying in bed, under the covers, pillow over my ears, trying to not hear them. And the only thought in my head was, burn it all. Burn it all. Burn the grass. No more. Shut them up at any cost. I will burn this yard if it means that my head doesn't just explode from the sound of the chirping of the crickets. And that's how I knew it was kind of really bad. I literally wanted to set fire to my lawn because the crickets were that loud. So, yeah. And like every woman, I did not react. I thought, oh, well, this is kind of bad, but it could be worse. And I have a doctor's appointment in like 2 days. It's fine. It wasn't fine. I went to my doctor's appointment and she told me that I needed to go to the emergency room. I went to the emergency room like it was nothing. I just crossed the street and I said, hey, my doctor says I need to come to the emergency room and I've lost vision in the center of my left eye. And the way I acted, you would think I was just like trying to get directions to find the way to the cafeteria or something. But they were like, oh my gosh. Yeah, no, that's serious. And so they took me and sat me down and did my blood test and took my blood pressure and got me into a room where, you know, as someone who's never been seriously injured or hurt, that was kind of terrifying. Everyone was treating this as something super serious, which I thought was just, you know, a thing that happened. And so I guess I'll go and talk to the doctor about it. So, yeah, we went through the whole process. They ended up tapping fluids out of my spine, and they took me to a specialist who looked at my eyes just to see everything that was going on. And yeah, what it ended up being was pseudotumor cerebri. I lovingly and jokingly refer to it as fat girl disease because the doctor, how he explained it to me is that it is predominantly something that affects overweight and obese women. And I was pushing almost 300 pounds. Yeah, I was 131.8 kilograms. That's about 290 pounds, give or take. So, of course, as most overweight people will know, the doctor's first suggestion is to lose weight. And in this case, it kind of seemed like a no-brainer. I also had some other medical issues going on at the time. I still have a couple of them, and I'm sure if you're an eagle-eyed viewer, you'll notice my neck shape is a little off. I have 2 goiters on either side of my thyroid, and I had hypothyroidism for a very long time due to PCOS. And you know, it just, for some reason, it didn't click that it was serious until the pseudotumor cerebri. And it's probably the word tumor, that's the really scary part. That makes you think, yeah, I need to make a change. I need to do something about this. So after getting out of the hospital, and after talking with the doctors and getting my sight back, I started looking at my sodium because I was taking blood pressure medication. I was looking at the things I was consuming and how that made my body feel. I don't know how else to put it. I was desperate for a change, but I didn't know where to start. So I tried dieting. I tried monitoring what I ate, make sure I didn't overeat. The first couple weeks, I just monitored. I was just like, record everything you eat and see what it comes out to. And for me, I was overdoing it by like double what I needed to be eating. And some of it was to numb the pain of the migraines. Some of it was boredom from being trapped in my home. And another part of it was just the depression. Like, when I'm emotional, I eat. I'm the kind of person who, when I get emotional or stressed out, I eat. And there's nothing more stressful than seeing your house as a pigsty and being isolated all the time when you are such a talker. If you watched any of my other videos, you know I like to talk. And it's just, it was so silent. And I found myself talking to myself outside of my, like, I started talking to myself because I would go days without hearing my own voice, and it freaked me out. And yeah. So I got really scared and I cried a lot. And my mom came out and she comforted me. She was living in Texas at the time, and she came all the way up to Kansas. And she stayed with me, and she helped me clean my house. Because one of the things about all of these things stacking up is it was devastating to my hormones and devastating to my mental state. I was so groggy and so tired all the time. The end of 2021, around my birthday, I didn't even want to look at the scale. But I kind of knew I had to get some sort of understanding of where I was so that I could know where I needed to go. And in 2022, I still didn't have a job, but I was looking at other places I could stay. My mom had moved to Kansas, so she was nearby, and I would go and visit her. She'd started fostering, and I was really taking it more seriously. I was gaming more, which, listening to that statement, yeah, no, that doesn't sound too good, but I was playing Ring Fit more and making progress, and I was boxing, and I was going to Bible study, and I was finally talking to other people about what was going on. And so 2020 came and went, and I wasn't thin at the end of it. Like I had hoped. My resolutions were to like get to be skinny and pretty and back to the comfortableness I was in 2015, get back to size large, but that didn't happen. I had a lot of ups and downs. I was hoping to get further in things than I actually was putting in the work for, and even if I did put the work in, like, that's not how my body works. That's just not how it works. And I came to that conclusion this year. So in 2023, I made my vision board, and I talked to you guys about it. I showed it to you for a little bit, and on that board was a goal of mine, and actually I think I hit it. I'll check it later, but I had lost so much weight so fast, which, you know, hindsight 2020, a lot of it was probably water weight. And I had like hit it so fast, and I started making a schedule, like I gotta just keep losing this amount and I'll get to the amount that I need to be at, and everything will go according to plan and there'll be nothing that goes wrong, and I just gotta be disciplined and get this every single day. And yeah, no, that's not what happened. Oh my goodness, that's not what happened. Like, I think by this time I was hoping to be, what was it, like, I want to say I was hoping to be like 86 kilos by now. And somewhere along 2-3 weeks ago, I started realizing I'm not 86 kilos, but I'm much further than I was at the start of the year. And I am losing just the amount of weight that is healthy for me, because I'm doing what's healthy for me. I'm eating right, and I'm walking every single morning. I stopped exercising for walking. I don't know, something about boxing every single day just drove me insane. I didn't even pick up fitness ring, because as much as I paid for this game, you would think that'd be the first thing I want to do, but no. I went fully for boxing because I felt more comfortable with boxing. And when I stopped boxing, I decided to go for a walk in my neighborhood, and we have a very lovely park, and I have so many clips and so many photos of the trees and of the fog, and I love it. And I met a woman walking. Lord just pressed on me like, hey, you need to go and talk to her, and you need to ask her if she's got a prayer request. And he just asked me to see if she had a prayer request. And I was scared to do it. I mean, here's this stranger who I walk by every single day, and we just like do our little hi, good morning, and then keep walking. And she's always had like an earbud in and talking to someone, and I always just thought she was doing business or something. No, turns out she was just talking with a friend for safety, or I assume safety. She was always just talking with a friend, and while I was asking her, she got lit up, and she's just like, oh, you pray when you walk too? So here she is talking to someone on the phone and praising to the Lord, and praying to the Lord. And I'm worshiping while I'm walking, listening to all of my praise and worship, and just like getting fully wrapped into it and just like walking with him. And like, here's a sister I didn't even know I had. And now we just pass each other. We still wave and say good morning, but now our smiles are so much bigger because we know, hey, you're family. So, Yeah, that was fun to have that experience and to be led into that, and my obedience be tested. And yeah, I enjoy walking, and when I don't walk, I feel it. I feel it so much if I don't walk. So I'm trying to get better about that. Like this last week, there were 2 whole days I didn't walk, and I felt every single one of them. And I didn't walk this Sunday. I still gotta figure that out. Just with the way that I joined the praise and worship team at my church, and it's so early when we come to practice, at least for me, because I live out of town. So like I have to leave here by like 7 a.m. to get there by 8, and it doesn't leave me a lot of time to wake up and walk, but we're figuring it out. But I've been doing that, and yeah, so like as far as what I eat, I don't really have like specific. Wow, that was terrible timing. My alarm just went off and completely cut off the recording. I hope it's still there. That's literally the whole video. Oh no. But what I was saying before my phone so rudely interrupted me, yeah, no, as far as what I eat, it's nothing revolutionary. I eat exactly what I ate before. I just am better about portions now. I still eat a whole block of ramen because gosh darn it, Maruchan, Top Ramen, whoever is in charge of portioning, a package is a serving. Like, I'm not splitting it with anybody. It's just me eating this. So don't tell me half a block is a serving. No. But like, if I do that, then I make concessions for the rest of my day. Like, if I eat a whole block of ramen, then I'm also going to make sure that I have enough protein, and I have enough fiber, and I have enough fat, and I'm not the best at macros. I understand them, but I don't follow them to a T. But I do know when I don't get my protein in for the day, it affects me a lot. And I realize when I eat too much salt, it affects me a lot. It gives me headaches, and it makes me think back to the pseudotumor cerebri days, and I cannot go back to that. I cannot stress how much I cannot go back to that. If you are going through this right now, I am so sorry. And just know that I fully understand. It's pain. It is physical pain. And people will try to write it off as it's just a migraine. It's not just a migraine. You are valid in knowing that it's not just a migraine. It is absolutely the most head-splitting thing. 24/7. I literally puked on the side of my couch because I moved too quickly in the middle of a migraine attack. It's not just a migraine. And Lord, I just pray that if they're going through this right now, Lord, that you are their comfort and you are their healer. You are the great physician. Amen. It's like I said, as someone who's never been seriously injured a day in my life, who's never, like, my family, almost everyone in my immediate family has diabetes, except for me and my brother, but he's a whole health nut. But like, I've been blessed to be protected from illness and broken bones and disease, and I don't take that lightly. I never did. But also, when I did get sick, it was probably the most terrifying thing ever. I actually dying. My body. Ooh. Sorry. My body was literally dying on me. Like, as much as I want to say there was no truth to the enemy saying this is killing you, I wasn't gonna die from it, but it was killing me. Like, I had so much fluid in the back of my skull, and it was cutting off circulation. And I was, on top of that, I was bleeding for months at a time with no stop in sight. None. And thank the Lord that he healed me in 2022. He told me to stop taking the medication, and I did. And I was fine. I don't recommend not taking your medicine just because you don't feel like it, but like, he explicitly told me, don't take that anymore. And my whole entire body, just to this day, has been regular ever since. And that is just God. I don't care what you believe, that is just God. Because the medication was to keep me regular. But when he told me to stop taking the medication while the doctors were telling me to take it. That's God. This boy, if he don't stop trampling all over the floor, woof. Sorry. But, so when I say it was a long time coming, and a lot of work and a lot of self-doubt and a lot of just, when am I gonna get here? I'm proud of this number. It might not seem like a lot in 2 years, but I'm proud of that number. Not because it's a goal. My goal is very far off from this number, but it's proof that I'm not wasting my time, and that I'm doing what's right for me, and that at the end of all of this, I can expect to see the progress, and I can expect to see me win, and I can expect the victory in this. And I won't have to worry about ever going through that again. I think that's my real goal right there. I never want to go through a health crisis like that again. Now, I understand there are things that may come up, and there are things that might come into play that I don't know about. Okay. But at least I can manage the things that are based off of my weight and my health. And I don't ever want to be in a position where I'm the cause of my own sickness. You know, I don't want to be the one who it falls on. If that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm proud of the work that I've put in, and I'm proud of the journey. It was not easy, and it was not smooth, and it was not according to plan, but I did this, and I'm gonna do so much more. I'm so excited. And I can't wait for us all to see me in 30. So I think the next update like this will probably be on my 30th birthday, which probably won't be posted on my 30th birthday. It'll probably be before or after, but you get the gist. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know down in the comments about your experiences and how your weight loss is going, or if you're not in weight loss, how your health is going. Give me a like, and if you are interested in following my rambling sessions, subscribe, hit the bell. I do not post regularly, and I am not apologetic about it. But bye.